What up, folks? Semi-original guy here, aka Mr. Cannon from Advanced Wars by Web, bringing you some more coverage of the Kesler Cup tournament, which is the official, or unofficial, I should say, officially unofficial league-based team tournament where there's multiple teams of 7 and they are all battling it out to win a grand prize of a lot of cash. I myself am the alternate of the Holy Polish Empire. Have yet to actually have to play a game, which is fantastic for me. I have absolutely no issues about that one way or another. Now, hello Marco Maps, hello Scannery. How are you guys today? Hopefully you're doing fantastic today. That would be optimal if you were. I'm also going to move my camera so it's more centralized so you can see my wonderful hair today. It's a fantastic day. Hopefully you're enjoying your Monday. So I have big news, folks. I have absolutely huge news in the content creation space here. My wife is officially done work for the foreseeable future. So that means that we are going to be able to get back on the normal schedule of content. That means we're going to be having more live streams, we're going to be having more videos dropping, and hopefully I'm going to be introducing a brand new series here pretty soon. But until all that, we have some Holy Polish Empire versus the Wheel provides today. So that's Solferent's team. And as we can see here, we're starting off with Solferent versus Bapton. This is the bronze game between these two. So it should be an absolutely fun time. Big fan of Solferent. I think he should be the mayor of Advanced Wars by Web. I'm definitely going to be endorsing him. But, you know, Bapton, he's my teammate. He's my teammate, man. You gotta root for the Bapton. This guy has been absolutely killing it in the tournament. Very proud of this guy. Very proud of him indeed. Now, unfortunately, for some reason, I'm unable to get the music player working. I tried many fixes. And I know that it's on the site, and I can get it to work on my other browser, but I can't get it to work on this browser. And this is the browser that I like using. So we're going to be playing some alternate music in the background. Hopefully you can hear it. Hopefully it's not too loud or quiet. I can always adjust it if so. But yeah, we're going to get into it, and we're going to see what is going to happen. Actually, I'm going to turn it up just a little bit here, around 50%. That should be okay. Maybe 48%. 48% sounds about good. Yeah. All right, we're going to get into it, folks. Let's see what went down between these two. Now, so we can see Solferent is playing the Brown Desert Army. Now, understandably, red and brown are kind of difficult to, you know, see. So we're just going to change. It's going to be Blue Moon, folks. That's what we're going to do, which is going to be strictly Blue Moon today. If you're on the Holy Polish Empire, do you automatically have to interrupt every cap that you're in range of? Yes, absolutely we have to interrupt every cap that we're in range of, because if we don't, Poland is going to beat us with a stick, and I don't want to get beaten with a stick, folks. So yeah, we got to make sure to always be interrupting, otherwise our Lord and Savior Poland is going to be very upset with us. Now, let's get into the game here, folks. We got a big one here today. We are going to be starting out with those standard infantry builds, obviously, because we got to get the infantry on the field. Folks, it is the #1 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. #2 priority in Advanced Wars by Web. This time, folks, make sure you like the stream. Alrighty, folks. Now, when we take a look at this map, this is Versailles, I believe. This is a base light matchup with an airport. There's not really a definitive strong side on this map, you know. Maybe somebody could make an argument here or there about whether or not you could have a strong side, but the main reason why I don't really think that it matters too much is because this airport is exactly 6 in range, I think, of each of the properties here, or each of the bases. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, it can get there, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, you know, it's just shy. It's about the exact same distance for both of them, so you know, it's just, you can do whatever you want on this map. But one thing you do have to do is you have to get down to the corners. The corners, folks. It's all about the corners. You got to get yourself in the corner, and you got to get stuff done. And by get stuff done, I mean you got to start capping them properties. So you can see here, Bapton. Bapton is a firm believer in getting that airport. So you can see he's already going for the airport. And he's already got a recon on the field, which is very interesting. It's a very interesting recon buy. Now, the recon does take a little while to get to the front lines here, but it is going to be able to immediately start denying properties. So, depending on what Soul for Rent decides he wants to do here, you know, he could potentially buy something. Now, he's not going to be able to buy something right away, but he's going to have 7K. So, yeah, it's pretty interesting. So, I mean, the option for Soul for Rent is he either goes for a recon himself and mimics the harassing strategy of Bapton, but a day late. Or he just saves his money, he buys a tank, and he just tries to counter the recon. Like, those are really his options right now. So, we'll see what happens. We'll see what occurs with this one, folks. I don't really know. I haven't really watched any of these games. I think I watched one of them on stream when they were being streamed briefly. But other than that, I don't really have any idea what's going to happen here. So, anyways, so Bapton capping the back property over here, capping that airport. Soul Friends is yet to go for his airport. He's a firm believer in the Andy age, folks. He's all about that Andy life. He doesn't even know what an airport is. But we're not playing Andy today. We're playing Adder. The big Adder, folks. That's who we're playing. And Bapton going double recon instead of just single recon, which is extra curious. I'm very, very interested to see what he's going to do. But this is actually kind of... It's a neat little strategy, but both of the recons are going to be countered like right away. Because Sulfurin will be able to buy one tank out of one base, one tank out of another base. And then he's going to, you know, he's going to have himself counters to the recons. But the recons are going to be able to just move up here and start harassing properties. Harassing caps, harassing infantry non-stop for at least a little while. So we'll see what happens here. I mean, essentially, none of these properties are getting capped. The recon is going to be able to stop every single cap. Now, obviously, Sulfurin can overload it, and he can go for, like, maybe the comm tower and the property at the same time. This is a... That's an interrupt. We got an interrupt over here. Maybe Sulfurin. Maybe Sulfurin is of the Holy Polish Empire. Because we see here, he's already going for an interrupt over here. Which is very good. But yeah, you do need that airport, as MT is saying in chat. Yeah, you got to get that airport. Because base light, you need the airport. 100%. Basically, as soon as you have the opportunity, you got to be getting a copter on the field. Especially, like... I mean, like, higher levels, you can kind of get away with this sometimes, but lower levels, if you can get a copter on the field before your opponent, it puts you in such a good position, because then you're forcing your opponent to have to respond to the copter, and then you're actually in the driver's seat. You're able to start dictating the battle, dictating the flow, and you'll have yourself a great time. But, yeah, Sulfurin goes for another interrupt on the property after he's been attacked here, and he... huddles in the corner. He's unable to really move because of the threat of the recon. I still think he probably should have overloaded this and got one of these two properties, because now the recon is going to be able to get in a position here, and he's probably going to get backup too. Like, I can see Bapton probably buying a tank. I don't know what property he's going to buy the tank from. He only gets one tank next turn, but we'll see. I would probably... Oh, it's hard to say. I feel like I would buy the tank out of the... Maybe the south? I don't really like this so much. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what the recon does. I need to know what the recon does before I make any comments about it. So he's going to go in and attack the infantry. Very nice. So this puts Bapton in a huge spot already. Like, holy moly, Bapton. He busts out the battlecopter too. So this is one of these scary things, folks. Like I said, he's going to, like, Bapton, he's already in copter territory here. That means he's already going to be ahead in units. And he's got the recon harassment here. Sulfurin manages to get the KO on the infantry. His own infantry is sitting down at 1, but the recon has been attacked down south, so that guy is not long for this world, unfortunately, but he has been able to deny a little bit of income. So Bapton needs a tank down south right about now. Now this is one thing that's kind of annoying about these kind of maps here. So this base light matchup here, you got a base right here and a base right here. So you have a dedicated base for each one of these sides here. So by your opponent building a battlecopter and you responding with an anti-air right away will actually allow the battlecopter to dictate where it's going to go. Sometimes it's better to wait a turn to build your anti-air to figure out where the battlecopter is going. Because now this anti-air, he has to go all the way here, and then he has to swing on this side in order to be effective. Unless Sulfuren wants to buy another anti-air and just cover both sides. Now, mind you, he could do that, and this anti-air could just go over here and start doing damage. That's definitely a possibility. I don't really think that he's throwing, necessarily. I think he just got caught off guard by not going and getting the airport right away. So I think he's just having himself a couple issues here. But I mean, at the exact same time, folks, you got to remember that nobody ever expects the double recon. The double recon's coming in. It's like, what even is that? Who builds double recons in Advanced Wars by Web? It's like, you could never expect it. You can never anticipate the double recons. I guess he probably could, but I mean, it's not something that's normally happening. I think this is I wouldn't go for this property. That's a pretty sus property to go for. Specifically just because this battlecopter is right here and can attack it. Like, if anything, what you... I mean, this property is probably going to get interrupted regardless. So this one is just kind of throwing away a property. This one's a free property. Well, not free. I guess this infantry can go over here and interrupt. So none of these properties are actually readily available. But this infantry is definitely going to be blowing up here. You think the second recon was a mistake? I don't know. I think it was pretty cool. I'm not going to lie. It's a pretty neat little recon over there. But anyways, all three of these properties are getting interrupted, like, without a doubt. Now, considering that Bapton is ahead 12-9 right now, technically he could go for some more KOs instead of actually finishing caps. But I mean, you also do want to just destroy or interrupt caps when you're this ahead in properties, because Sulfuren, he's in a position where he's going to be able to buy 1 tank, 1 infantry every single turn. Bapton will buy 1 tank, 1 infantry every single turn too, or he could buy battlecopter double infantry, but Sulfuren can buy anti-air plus infantry unless he has to repair. But he's in a pretty bad spot. I mean, you don't want to be 9k to 12k. It's one of those ranges which is just, it's really not good to be. Because the person that has 12, it's just so much more income. It's like base light and your opponent being at 14 and you're at like 11 or 12, right? I mean, they get the double tanks out and you can only get 1 tank out, and that's just, doesn't matter like what the game state looks like at that point. Like, you're just gonna get out tanked eventually. So either way, Sulfuren carries on here. He brings the infantry down, potentially gonna go and attempt to get the airport. But there's also this battlecopter that can swing down here and attack either of these 2 infantry, which is actually incredibly dangerous because he could go and do that. Put threats over here, stop the airport, force the anti-air to go down, and then the battlecopter could also just like swing over here, start attacking this, and then put pressure on the base. Ooh, you got some dangerous stuff here, folks. Sulfuren missed a chance to move in his forces. Maybe he did. Alright, goes for the attack. Alright, so we got 1, 1, 5, 3. Bapton, what are we gonna do right now, Bapton? Let's figure out what we're gonna do. So we got 2 tanks over here, got the battlecopter. Battlecopter could actually swing over here and attack this. I think that's probably the better play. I wouldn't really want... Yeah, we can't go down south now. So really the move right now with this battlecopter is to go over here and attack this infantry. The only other option that we would have would potentially be... We could maybe go in and KO this, KO this, KO this, and then have like a little block over here. so that the anti-air might not get the battlecopter, but I don't really think that's necessarily a great thing. I think you just go over here and take out the 6, then force the anti-air to swing back over here. Because the more running around you can make the anti-air do, the better. Alright, so we're going to go in and do that. Alright, so that's not bad. I do have one issue with this move, though, and that's specifically that, well, I don't think, no, that's not, no, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. That's a goner copter. That was a good copter, okay? You don't really want to be throwing away the copter, right, Happa? Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah, swinging the copter over here probably would have been a better idea. Unfortunately, the tank here, it smacks this guy right here, so then the anti-air gets out, and then there's actually no counter to the to the anti-air or the tanks that are coming in. So Sulfuran's gonna have like a pretty decent position over here. I mean, the one saving grace is that Bapton does get this capture out of it, but I think that might just be a temporary thing, you know? I mean, with the amount of tanks that are gonna be in that area, it's gonna be pretty difficult for him to hold on to that property. We covered the tank, so that's not too bad. Alright, bust out another tank. Hey, Fluffy. What's up? Long time no see. Alright. So immediately Sulfuran sees the attack, obviously. Obvious attacks are obvious, folks. You gotta go for them. Alright, so got a mech. Alright. Big mech energy over here. Could have sat the infantry in front of the tank. Yeah, could have. Could have did that, I suppose. Yeah, I suppose it could have. Anyways, whatever. So he's gonna attack that tank. Let's see how much damage it does. 5-7. Okay, I might have an issue with this, and I think the issue is probably gonna be fairly big. Let's just see. So let's say we get a co-power here, right? And then we have another select button, and we go in and attack this. We're doing 60 to 69 damage, right? So that's pretty significant. You probably would get the KO. I'm thinking you probably would get it. And even if you, I mean, you could be, if you really wanted to guarantee that you're gonna get it, you could move the 2 HP right here and be a blocker, then attack with the 5 from like here and then go in with the tank. But I think taking the tank down to 1 is like good enough in a situation. Alright, so this is Bapton's turn. Is he gonna pop the power? Is he gonna be powering up here? Let's see. Alright, we're gonna go cap the properties. Now, is he gonna go in? Oh, I really want to know. Oh, wait. Oh yeah, we have no comm towers either, so we're not gonna be anywhere close to like 2 at potential. Alright, so we're gonna go in there. Okay, so we're gonna attack with that one. Wow. Oh, wait. We didn't even use a power. Holy moly, how much counter damage did we do to this tank? 55 to 64. That's a pretty good amount of damage. Yeah, and then this guy just moves here, and then this tank can't really get the shot unless you get super. The only way to get a shot on this tank after this infantry moves here is with a super, because then you could like get here, but a super is not gonna happen. So yeah, that's pretty strong. Let's see if Bapton blocks with the infantry though. Alright, he blocks with the infantry. This man, he knows what's up. He's all about it. Alright, side slip, side slipping. Sulfurant, big side slip action. Alright, let's see what's going on here. Okay, good. Alrighty, side slip action. Let's see what happens here. I don't really like that. I mean, he takes out the tank, which is obviously like nice, but it's trading a full HP tank for a 5 HP tank. So I'm not like a huge fan of that, but Either way, he's going for the property in the middle, so that's okay. Finally going to get the airport. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So now this tank actually is not covered too. So you can have a decent double strike here if you use power. If you use power, then you can get a double strike from like here and here. Take that out. So that can be pretty nice. Actually, if you use power, you can move this infantry onto the bridge and then actually block again with this infantry. And then you could attack here and here, and then you could use 1, 2, 3, 4. You could use the full HP to not interrupt that because it's sitting at 2. All right, never mind. We don't want to do that. Base lock. Base lock with 2 HP infantry. I mean, I guess you could base lock with the 2 HP infantry. Yeah, I guess that would probably be pretty good too. Dude. Yeah, there's not really anything that can actually stop it either. So yeah, you're just going for the base lock and then you can just do whatever you want. That's strong. Strong. Let's see if Bapton sees it though. See if he's going to go for it. He uses the power. He's going to go for the interrupt. See, I don't mind going for the interrupt, but I think, like, at this point, like, we're so head in properties, like, do we really... Oh, he goes in with that tank to attack it. That's not a good move. I'm not, like, a huge fan of that. I mean, it base locks it, but not a very... Not, like, the best way to go about it, I suppose. I mean, pretty much almost anything might have been better with that. Does that tank trade win comm tower? It does. I mean, he wins the comm tower, but he's got 11k income. Like, Bapton's just going to be able to out-tank him, like, the entire time. And if he builds another... Like, I feel like he should have went for the 2 anti-airs, or at least one of the anti-airs, and then just built more battlecopters. Because, like, Sulfurant... If he's forced to just buy anti-air to deal with battlecopters the entire time, he's gonna have kind of a difficult thing to do. But either way, we'll see how the rest of this plays out. Got an interrupt and the mech getting a little bit of value. Another mech on the field too from Sulfurant. Double mech action over here. And he goes in with this one, and then Bapton is forced to either interrupt it or find something else to do. That's really his only option. Sulfurant's probably going to get another power too, so the attack on this tank is not free. Because you could go in and attack and then attack again, but... Yeah, that is going to probably hit that. Because what are we dealing with here? We're only like 5k? 5.5k away? Yeah, so when if those 2 attacks do happen, then that's not going to be good. Not gonna be good at all. Alright. Another mech. Alright, folks. We got mech gaming going on here. Alright, gonna be going in for a few more attacks here. At the old double tap. Gonna go in, and he's going to go for the interrupt. Okay, so he's just gonna be holding on to that income. Now, I think what he probably... Oh, no, he wouldn't be able to go for the comm tower right now, because this guy with power would be in range to actually hit it. I was thinking, like, he could potentially go over here because this tank would be forced to interrupt. That would have potentially been the only thing, but with the power, it does make things a little bit more difficult. But Bapton's got 19,000 funds, man. He's feeling pretty good about himself right now. He builds a medium tank, folks. Classiest of all the units in Advanced by Web. The classy medium tank is on the field. But Sulfurant, he's bought a battlecopter, folks. He's a battlecopter believer over here. Let's see what he manages to do with it. He's capping. He's getting 2 caps right now. One of them is with a mech, too. So you can't just move up and interrupt that guy, like, willy-nilly. All right. Bapton counters once again. Counter power. Going in for the attacks. Going for the property. Ooh. I mean, the property... It's not a bad idea to go for the property. It's not. It's probably actually better than going for the comm tower. But I would really like to get rid of that comm tower. I'm not really a huge fan of the the choice of attacks here. Just attack from the road, because now you have a mech attack right here, and you also have like the 6 HP that can attack this and do some big damage there. But I mean, once again, like Sulfurant needs to actually have some units, or have some big units to deal with the medium tank. 'Cause that medium tank, oh man, it's gonna be getting some value here. I mean, mechs can't stand up to the medium tank. He's too powerful. That's pretty big. Going for the double. I think I probably would have liked to. I mean, it's fine. It's fine, but depends. Well, obviously this mech is going to go right here or right here, right? So the tank's not going to be able to just get away with attacking this again. Yeah. Yeah, so that's not gonna, it's not gonna happen, folks. Not happening. Another battlecopter on the field from Sulfurant. That's what I'm talking about. At some point, the loss in value isn't worth it, right? It's the way it goes, folks. It's the way it goes. Oh, wow. This is nice. That's a nice little attack. So, I'm not really, like, I'm not a huge fan of what is occurring here, because this is kind of a problem. So like, yeah, you got the battlecopter here, which covers this, but like this can just attack this, and then this can attack this, and then this can move over here and attack this. This can attack this, and then you can just buy something from here once again. I mean, injured artillery isn't really going to do much damage to it. And if Sulfurant wants, Sulfurant's probably best bet is actually just to spam battlecopters and infantry right now. So, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens here. Medium tank, let's go. Just obliterates it. Just one-shots it. No contest. No contest here. Alright, mech coming in. Doing what mechs do best. Be annoying. Perfect. Alright, so he's gonna go in there. Let's take the attack. Take the attack on the tank, yeah. And then this tank, do we swing over here? Sulfurant's got 11k. What does he do with 11k though? Did we go battlecopter and then double infantry again, or did we buy anti-air? I mean, we could buy. I mean, we could go mech. Oh, wait. No, we can't. Hold on. No, it doesn't really matter. You know what? I was thinking maybe with the power, there is actually potential of dislodging the base, like with a battlecopter or battlecopter artillery, if it was an infantry, but then you just lose this entire area, like in general, so I don't know. We'll see what happens here. So builds a tank. All right, so we got a tank. I probably would have, I mean, there's no tanks in the vicinity. I probably would have bought an anti-air. I think like anti-air. Or even a mech. Actually, no, at this point you could just buy a mech, because if he surrounds his base, like you can just like bust it out with the battlecopters and everything, so. Either way. Alright, so medium tank, feeding. We got a feeding frenzy over here. Going for the battlecopter attack. Now, unfortunately, battlecopter on battlecopter violence over here is actually not necessary. Okay, so we gotta resign. Okay, what up, Kesler? So, alright, so Babin's the winner there, which is clearly the way it's supposed to go, because for some reason we have a fighter now, and we have a classy boy. So, I mean, it's the only logical response, but this corner is actually not, like, as beaten as it seems, because, well, I mean, obviously the fighter is kind of annoying, right? But because this battlecopter went over here, you have a tank hit plus a infantry, or plus the, what, battlecopter? Yeah, like, what's tank plus battlecopter do against this infantry? So tank goes up, hits it for, okay, so this and this clears this. You wouldn't be able to attack this though, but I mean, you would clear this. You would get this guy out. This guy could go over here and attack this, and then Battlecopter could clear this, and then you basically win this corner. You bust out an anti-air, and then the fighter, if he decides to come down here, then you have a counter to it, at least. But, like, in general, though, no matter what Sulfurant does right now, it's just a slow decline. So there really isn't much he can do, because he's so far behind when it comes to income that there's not much you can do. But, I mean, there is a play to, like, get yourself out of this situation. But there's no play to deal with being 6k behind on a low income map. That's why not base, or why not base tank hit Artie? Because, oh yeah, I guess you could, because you would just stay here, right? And you can move this guy. So that and that takes out that. This guy would just stay there. Yeah, so then you go here, attack that, and then do a bunch of damage. Yeah, true. Because this guy would just move. You can just get out of the way. Just get out of the way. See ya. Alright, folks, that was the first game. What a nice game. Indeed. Now we got another game here, and we are playing on the map called Umbrella in the Wind. That's what we got going on here, folks. And we are dealing with two lovely players, Mr. Christian 1 and Mr. Lemon W100. Now, Christian, I believe, he's been doing a little bit of streaming. You know, he's been doing a little content creation. So definitely go and check that guy out. He's pretty cool. I don't know. Does he have his link in here? He doesn't have his link in his thing. He doesn't even have the semi-original guy link in his thing. So I can't even claim that he's one of my alts. Alright, well, whatever. Not a big deal. Yeah, I agree though, Fluffy. Definitely a premature resign. Just keep fighting. Just keep fighting and just keep going, man. That's what it's all about. Alright. Anyways, we got ourselves an Andy Mir here. Andy, best CEO in the whole world. Best boy, hands down. Some people would agree, and they would be right. Some people would disagree, and they would probably be wrong. But either way, whoever your favorite CEO is, folks, just as long as it's not Kindle, then you're all good. Alright, folks. Boom. Andy Mir. Let's see how this one goes. I played this map a couple times. It's actually kind of a tricky map, because you got these bases and this base here, which is like blocked off by these rivers, which makes it kind of difficult to reinforce. So you have like a strictly like infantry mech base, and then it takes you a little while to actually get some vehicle reinforcement over here, so it allows you to like set up. So you got a slow setup over here with the vehicles having to wrap around. You could potentially bust open the pipe seam, but it takes a long time. You know, it doesn't take that long actually, but it takes long enough that you would prevent yourself from capping a lot of these properties that are around here. Like, these properties are your main concern more than anything. So you got to go for them, folks. You got to go for them. Got to get them. Got to get that money. Straight making that money. Alright, let's see how this one goes, though, because last time I played on this map... was it this map? It might have been this map. It was either this map or another map, but I think it was Vilfort that I fought on this map, and that was a tough fight. I'll tell you that much. It was a tough one. It was a tough fella. Tough cookie. Alright, got an attack on the pipe seam. Lemon. Boom. Getting that damage. He's all about that damage. He's all about those 1% rolls, folks. Sometimes you just gotta roll it 1% for the win. Alright, we got a tank over here from Christian. Not too shabby at all. Boom. Double 1%. What's that sitting at? 97%. Oof, that guy's going down. He's going down, folks. It's gonna take it out. Not even an issue. Alright, got a tank. So mirroring the tank buys on either side, but Lemon buys a mech. So mechs are not too shabby on this map, actually. They're not too shabby at all. I mean, specifically because that base is strictly a mech, an infantry base. There's like nothing else you can buy from it. There's nothing else that you would even want to buy from it, because then you just base lock yourself and you just be having a bad time. So yeah, don't buy anything else from it. Just mechs and infantry. That's it. That's it. Do it. Alright. So far we just got a lot of safe property grabs. Not really any conflicts going on. Although we might be seeing a conflict here pretty soon. No, we won't, because this tank is not in range to actually hit here. So we'll see what Christian decides to do. See if he makes a mistake or not. It doesn't look like he's making any mistakes yet, so he's doing pretty good. He's got the mech chains going. He's got the artillery on the field. I mean, getting a little indirect combat over here. Lemon did base skip here, I think, right? Did he base skip? He's got the tank. Then he base skips. Interesting. Alright, so we got a base skip. Is what it is, folks. Sometimes you gotta be base skipping. Anyways. Whoops. Niga saw nothing. Anyways. What was that? Day 7? I go all the way to day 7. You guys did not see a bomber, by the way. Bombers don't exist on this map. They might exist, actually. Boom. Here we go. There we are. We'll just go from here. Wanted the mech chain left and tank pressure in the middle. Yeah, makes sense. I mean, mech chains out of this base and this base just makes sense, right? You need at least 2 in order to ward off the tanks, because if the tank first strikes one of your mechs, then you're not having a good time. This isn't safe though, because this tank could swoop over here and attack this, interrupt the comm tower, and at least get away with like 1 hit. But there's not really anything stopping Lemon from just starting or continuing the capture and then bringing this tank over here to sort of trap the tank over here, which might be a little bit dangerous. But I mean, you kind of also want to attack the center with the tank too, so this makes sense. All right, let's see what he does. See what he does. Ooh, yeah, going for that a little comm tower attack, not too bad. Christian coming in with that big damage over here, 50% damage, but unfortunately it's not 60% damage, which is what you actually really want out of that hit, because now Lemon could just, like I said, continue the capture and then force another attack from either the infantry or the tank. I mean, you're kind of forced into attacking it again. I don't see any reason why Lemon wouldn't just continue the capture, but he is playing Andy, so keeping your units alive is actually super important too, so I don't know. Very curious to see what he's going to do here. Retreats the infantry. So retreating the infantry is not too shabby, but not saying it's necessarily advisable, right? But you could move in with tank, take this out, eat a mech hit, and then just run away and wait for healing. It's a possibility, but at the same time, I think maybe swinging your tank over here and start putting pressure over here would probably be pretty good, because Lemon's got a good foothold on the center right now. Like, he's definitely zoning out quite a bit. And there's a lot of income sunk over here into the corner for Christian that's not actually really engaged in the fight. Like, right now, Lemon has really good engagement, really good spread all around the battlefield here. He's just spread like butter all over the place. He's just, yeah, look at that. Look at that right there. Like, he controls like all of this area right now. It's gonna be very difficult for Christian to actually push into this. So let's see what he does. I mean, probably the only way that he can break into the center right now is if he goes Battlecopter. If he goes Battlecopter, he should be able to make Lemon retreat a little bit here. So let's see. Let's see if we're going to have a day 9 Battlecopter. Comm tower lead versus middle control. Yeah, I mean, it's one comm tower though, so it's not really like super effective like overall. Like, when powers come online, it's going to be a little bit more effective, but like, it doesn't necessarily guarantee you like too much extra damage. Like, if it was 2 comm towers, then that would be something, because then you would get those threshold hits. But 1 comm tower, like, you still can't really KO things on cities, but you can do a little bit of extra damage. Like, obviously your engagements are going to be a little bit better, but I mean, unless it's 2 comm towers, like, I really wouldn't worry about it like too much. But either way, I mean, Lemon's going for 2 properties in the center right now too, and it's one of them is gonna go through for sure, and he's gonna have this. He's gonna be at 18 after that point. It's possible There is a world where Christian allows the capture to go through, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to do it, because then he's going to be fighting over this city here. But I like the tank buys. Tank buys are looking good. Alrighty. Ooh, daring position over here from Lemon. Alright. Going for a capture. Going for the attack on the infantry and getting the battle copters, folks. Yep, that's what I'm talking about. You got to get the battle copters in order to break the center up. Oh, he doesn't go for the interrupts. Whoa. That's going to let Lemon's going to be at 19. It's going to be 19 to 19, but Christian will have a comm tower lead. Okay. Alright, that's not too bad. It's not too shabby. I'm surprised he didn't go for it, though. I don't know. Alright, Christian is like, he's flooding the center now with that big mech ball over from the eastern front now, so it's looking pretty gnarly. Oh, going in with the oh yeah. Alright. That comm tower is secured, folks. It is secured. And the greatest thing about this too is if Christian wants to go in and attack over on the west, I mean, he can do it with the tank, but then he has to deal with a mech. He has to deal with a mech counter. Now, obviously, infantry could go over here and attack the mech, but there's not really any winning scenario for Christian right now over here. Like, he can move these guys in and attack, but he loses all of them. Lemon still gets the comm tower, and he also gets these two properties, which is going to put him at a huge lead at that point. I mean, strictly like unit count and position wise, in my opinion, but let's see what happens here. So it is Christian's turn. See what he decides to do. There's not really anything he can do in this position or with these guys over here. Like, he could make a play and like try to grab these properties, but with the introduction of the artillery and the battle copters right here, tank right here, triple infantry guarding the property, I mean, the only real thing that I think Christian could potentially go for is like maybe trying to make a play for this property right here. But even that's kind of risky. Like, I don't know, like maybe he doesn't have any infantry that are even able to cap at this turn either. So his best option would just be like, his best outcome here would just be like start a brawl right here, which I don't really necessarily think he wants to do. But this is turning into a little bit of a tricky game here, a little tricky stally game. I mean, minor stall, not like major stall or anything, but yeah, I don't know. It's getting kind of iffy. Okay, so Christian leaves the center with the blob. The blob is going southeast. All right, southeastern blob. Let's see it. Let's see what happens here. Day 11 from Lemon. Going in for multiple hits here actually does KO the tank. And see, that's what I was saying here. So like, yeah, you do a little bit of damage, but you lose a tank and you lose the tank and 2 infantry. And then this tank can't even attack over here. So that just puts this in a very dangerous situation. It's like incredibly dangerous situation. What's this pipe seam sitting at? 33. Okay, so 33 and 52. So the pipe seams are almost broken too. Christian's got this pipe seam down to like 67 right now. Ew. I said the numbers. Gross. Anyways, so did do a little bit of damage there, but yeah, this pipe over here from 11, it's about to get busted open, which is going to greatly increase the production. So it's looking pretty good. All right. Ooh. Christian is a feisty guy. Super feisty. He's going in for those feisty attacks. Wow, nice. All right, Christian has had enough. He has had enough of this waiting around thing. He knows that if he just waits around, it's not gonna work out. It's not gonna work out if he just waits around. So yeah, he just moves in, all in one move, just moving in, go blob unison. That's what I'm talking about. All right, and Christian buys a medium tank. So this guy is an absolute class act over here. That's what I'm talking about. Classiest unit in Advanced Wars by Web. Classic medium tanks. All right. So I mean, artillery anti-air, but then you eat a mech hit. I think like you just interrupt this with an infantry. I think that's really like the only thing that you can really do. You can attack this. You can attack here. I don't know. One, two, three, four, five, six. So if there's a medium tank, all right, that's what I'm talking about. Classy boys. Yeah, you can't two-hit the anti-air, so it's safe. Actually, that's not too bad. Ooh. Christian. Oh, Christian's making a play for the headquarters now. I don't necessarily think that's going to work out too well, unfortunately. Now, the only reason why I don't think it's going to work out too well is mainly because this guy is, yeah, 32, so that's like one artillery shot away from being busted open. Then the floodgates are open up for the medium tank and the battlecopters to move in here. And even if you lose one battlecopter in the engagement here to the anti-air, I mean, the floodgate is open. You just buy more units over here. Like, the mechs aren't really going to reach over here in time to be like a big reinforcement. So I don't know, man. I don't know. We'll see. Let's see what happens here. This is going to be a good turn. I think this is going to be a nice little turn. Boom! It's busted. It's busted open. Let's go. Oh, the infantry doesn't get the roll. What are we doing? What are we doing? Oh, and the anti-air moves in. Medium tank attacks the anti-air. This man's a firm believer in using his noggin. That's a good move right there. Smart man. Alright, day 13. Christian, 30 units, sitting at 96,000 value, 113,000 value over here for Lemon, but Christian is going to be adding 22,500 to that entire bulk. Let's see what he does. Alright, no fully healthy infantry in range of HQ either. Yeah, no, there's not. Now, if he gets the super co-power, I mean, obviously this guy is in range right here, and he would be full, but yeah, now there's no surround potential at all. Even if you tried to surround, it's like, well, you can't surround because the medium tank is right there. So yeah, even if you attempted to surround, the medium tank basically secures the HQ. Cannot be busted through. It's too powerful. It's too strong. Strong lad. Christian forced to retreat here. And I'm just going to say it again, folks. Like, this is a tricky map. You know, it seems pretty straightforward and pretty easy, but it's tricky. Because in order to take any of these bases here, you have to bust through, like, these fat turtles. You know, you have to crack these shells over here. It's not easy to crack. So it's like one of the best ways to play this map, like, in general, is just to turn it into a center brawl and just try to win in the center, because winning in the corners is incredibly difficult. Usually it just ends up being like a huge back and forth. Like, you try to push, you lose the push. They try to push, they lose the push, and then it's just a back and forth thing from there. So definitely winning it in the center is the way to do it. And right now, I mean, Christian is actually ahead. He's at 22,000 income to Lemon's 18. So Lemon is the one that needs to make the plays. He needs to get up here and start getting things done. capital D-O-N-E in order to actually stay in this game. Because despite the fact that his army comp and everything is looking pretty good, if he doesn't have the properties to back it up, then he's not going to be winning this game. So we'll see. And then Christian making a play for the comm tower again. Also, oh, neat. All right, so, this could be interesting. This actually could be very, very interesting. All right, we got the hype. We sacrificed the battlecopter for the hyper upgrade. So what do we really have available with the hyper upgrade, though? So anti-air can't do anything. Battlecopter could do like a little bit. Battlecopter could. Oh, excuse me. Ooh, battlecopter could potentially help with breaking this line over here. So I think maybe what he's planning on doing is just planning on doing like a big push in the center. Either way, you really have to make this turn good. Like, if you're going to sacrifice the battlecopter for this play, like, it really, really, really has to be good. Like, I'm actually curious about this right here. You know what? I mean, single infantry isn't going to be able to stop this capture, too. If you try to sacrifice the 5 HP infantry now, you can hyper upgrade and move in with this infantry and actually guarantee that you interrupt this capture too, which is definitely a possibility. But my thought here is Lemon is going to hit the center very, very hard. That's probably what he's going to be doing. Alright, so he goes for the hyper upgrade. I would have sacrificed this infantry first and then go in for the attack. Because I don't think that he actually... Like, do you do 60% damage? I don't think you do. Or do you? If he does 60%, then it doesn't really matter. Yeah, he does 50 to 56. So that comm tower is going to go through in favor of Christian. So if he doesn't do enough damage this turn... I mean, he's going to get hit with hyper upgrade right back. But I think he's got enough hits here that it. Oh my god, and that's dirty. That is it. All right, let's see it actually happen, because speculation is one thing, folks, but actually seeing it in action, that's a completely other story. All right, pretty big. Ah, it's so dirty. It's such a dirty hit. Savage. All right, got the old double on the mech as well. Medium tank, double battlecopter plus tank. Yeah, it doesn't get that. The only thing I would have changed is just sacrifice the 5, because it doesn't really matter, because once he uses hyper upgrade, he gets it anyways. So you might as well risk it for the biscuit, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Risk it for the biscuit. Alright, that was a pretty good push though. All things considered, yeah, pretty good. Very good. Actually, very good. Now, what does Christian actually have in his repertoire here? So, let's see. So, he uses the hyper upgrade. So, we have 2 8s, a full... Mech can only really attack infantry or medium tank. We don't have anything that can clear the medium tank. Because of the medium tank, too. Classiest of all units advanced by web, folks. Actually makes it so none of these can be KO'd. So in all reality, there is actually really not much Christian can do in this position. Actually, I think Lemon just had an insanely solid play there. Like, I don't really see anything that he's gonna really be able to do that's gonna be like, like catastrophic or anything. Like, he attacks some battlecopters. Ooh, a soiled abomination. Stinky neo-tanks on the field, folks. Alright. So Christian launches a counterattack. It does actually do like a pretty respectable amount of damage. Like, Lemon was sitting at 150,000. And now he's sitting down at 115,000. So he did like 35,000 battle damage there, which is not too bad. But I mean, Lemon needs to make plays. You know, he needs to make a play. He needs to make things happen. So that's what he chose to do. He chose to be the change he wanted to see in this world. You know what I'm saying? That's what he's doing. He's being the change. He acquires the properties. He flips it back to a 2020 game. Going in for the double against the mech. Going in for the attack on the anti-air. Is going to get healed up to 8, but does siphon a little bit of money. Now he's got to deal with a Neo tank, though. Neo tank is actually not in range of the medium tank, though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So yeah, Neo can't actually hit anything this turn. That's going to be of like significant value. And it is now day 16. Christian, let's see what he does. Let's see what he does with his Shoiled Abomination. Smelly boy. What's he going to do? It does appear like Christian is going to be able to steal one more city over here from Lemon. Oh my god, hold the phone. I didn't even care to look over on the western front of this battlefield when all of a sudden Lemon, who has 2,800 funds left, forgot to build an infantry and allows his base to get blocked by a battlecopter. My gosh, folks, what is going on this battle? My lord. Was this a calculated play or was this a blunder? That does look like a big whoopsie. That is for sure, folks. Oh dear, if that was me, I would be slamming my hand on my desk so hard it might even break. Actually, it probably won't. I don't hit my desk over fear of it breaking. That's what the couch is for, folks. It's what the armrest on the couch is for. You hit the armrest, you don't hit your desk. Alright, another little double here. Now, I mean, it's not like a forever lock, because really all Lemon has to do is Lemon just has to bring a battlecopter over. Attack it. But temporarily, that's going to allow Lemon to just, or Christian to just steal all those properties. Well, not all the properties. He's going to be able to steal one property. That's all he has time for, is just stealing this property here. So he gets this property, gets this property. That puts him to a 22-18 game again, which basically just undoes all the damage that Lemon just did. But Christian is still actually fairly behind in properties. Why did he not finish the capture? That's a weird one. I mean, there's no way he's gonna be able to capture the base, so it's kind of weird that he would move the infantry right here. I would have just finished capping. Like, why would you not just finish capping? I don't know. Oh yeah, Lemon's gonna get like a huge hyper upgrade though. Oh my god, and every single attack, this brings him a little bit closer. Alright, folks, we got to keep an eye on this value because I'm pretty sure. Alright, so we're at 101,300 value, and this is probably going to be a hyper upgrade. So that goes up by 31,000. It's not bad. It's not a bad hyper upgrade, you know? It's not a bad hyper upgrade. Look, it's pretty good. It's a pretty good hyper upgrade. Oh, and the medium tank survives. Christian's medium tank is so powerful. Such a powerful medium tank. Can't beat it, folks. Can't beat it. It's too strong. Ugh, that's pretty big. Alright, so despite the fact that even if Christian has like the Neo tank and has like the property lead, or will have the property lead, this is definitely resigned territory, unfortunately. There's actually, I don't really think that there's much that he can do. Even if he fights on, I mean, his repairs that he's going to get from hyper upgrade are very minimum. There's going to be like 1 KO, 2 KOs, I guess, that he could potentially get this turn. Pipe runner, resign. That's it. No, that's all. That's all that you can do, man. Christian fought hard, man. He fought hard and he fought well. But, yeah, no, that hyper up, that was a fat hyper. Like, both of the super turns from Lemon were actually, like, very good. Very good indeed. Yeah, these guys both played really good this game, though. And, guys, this was, like, what's the lower tier? It's, silver. Yeah, that was a silver game. Like, these silver players, man, you gotta watch out for these guys. There's something, man. They are something indeed. Alright. So what are we at right now? What time are we at? 10 o'clock already, and we're only 2 games in. Alright, we got Magician versus Super Glob next. So I'm just gonna take a quick, short little break here. Just gonna hit the timer. A little short 5-minute, and then we're gonna get into Magician versus Super Glob. And this is actually gonna be a really interesting battle too, because I watched this one partially on stream. And I only really caught the ending, so I really want to know. I want to know how we got there. You know, short shower break. If you guys can shower in 5 minutes, like, yeah, I mean, give her. I like to enjoy my showers, though. All right, we'll be back. Alrighty, folks. We're like 30 seconds to go or whatever, but we're back. We're back. It's fine. Everything's fine. We're all good. I had a drink of water and everything's sick. Super sick. Alright. So we got ourselves a Sammy mirror on this map too. For those of you that don't know, especially myself, because I can never remember, this map is called El Captain. El Captain is what we have going on here today, folks. It's a rather large map, you know. And we got a Sammy mirror, so let's see what happens here. I'm excited to see what's actually going to occur with this one. It's going to be neat. We also got a pre-deployed missile on this map, which is pretty cool. You know, I like maps that have weird things sometimes, like pre-deployed missiles. And we can see here the Magician is already really planning something with his missile. I don't know exactly what he's planning, but he's planning something because that missile is going. He is going. He's going places. Now, I don't really necessarily know how I feel about the missile going like too far, but I mean, the missile going over here is not necessarily the worst thing. So missile right here and still locks the airport, but also doesn't make it susceptible to infantry attack from over here. And as you know, folks, that infantry do a lot of damage to the missiles. Do a lot of damage. Like, it's not like a small hit. It's a fat hit. Like, a big boy hits. Especially Sammy infantry. Like, holy moly. Like, folks, like, I'm pretty sure you all know, but, like, folks, just take a gander for a moment. The pure devastation. 32 to 41 damage. Now, mind you, it would have been on a plane, so it would have just been 3 damage, but still, that's a lot of damage, folks, you know? So, by Magician moving his missile down here, it actually does protect the missile for at least a little while longer, so I don't mind it, you know? I don't mind it at all, but air units are very critical in this fight, like, insanely critical. You gotta have the air units. It needs to happen. They're big. They're huge. Huge air units. Alright, so recon over here from Magician. Artillery from Super Glob. Very neat moves. Super Glob is set up for a double interrupt over here up north too. Like, this is... That's a nice little position over here, because if Magician decides he wants to go in here, he is going to get hit with the double, eliminating an infantry, which doesn't really seem like a lot, but it's kind of a lot, you know? It's kind of a lot. It's no small hit, that's for sure. Positionally, that makes it so Super Glove can just go completely uncontested over here, and Magician is down in infantry in the capping phase, which is definitely a little dangerous. Alright, going for the comm tower. Whoa. The more I look at this artillery, the more I'm actually kind of in agreement of the artillery. It's a pretty nice artillery, I'm not gonna lie. Both players have an arty on the field now. Both players are starting with the big mech assaults over here. Hello! Alright. Nice. That's what I'm talking about. Alright, Super Glob does have a KO on the 7 HP infantry if he so chooses to go in and do that attack. So let's see what he does here. He's trying to snipe a property over here from Magician right now. It might not go too well for him, though, but at the exact same time, what sort of counter do we really have to deal with the artillery at the moment? Like, Magician doesn't really have a counter. He could buy a tank, and that might do something. But with Super Glob's tank coming in, I don't know if it's going to be enough. Don't know if it's going to be enough. Let's see. Oh, that mech is in range right now of the flippin' missile. That's actually huge. That could potentially be really, really huge. Although, with the artillery here, Magician could have actually sniped this property. Like, I don't think Like, how much does the mech do against the infantry on a city? Do we take it down? No, we don't. We take it down to 4, so he could have actually got that flip. Which would have been pretty nice. Like, he would have got this flip, actually. That would have went through. I wonder why he didn't do it. Does he have some sort of other, like, grand scheme that he's considering here? Or is it just that he... Maybe he just thought something else, you know? Maybe he had a different plan. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what kind of plans he comes up with here. But who doesn't want to steal a property from your opponent, you know? It seems like a good time to me. Alright. Going in for the old attacks. And now Super Glob is going for lots of caps, actually, up north. It's looking pretty nice. I think he's going to be able to get, like, a lot of them. And Magician is kind of in a tricky situation here because he's got 2 infantry that are dedicated to capping these properties, but he's also about to lose his comm tower, which might potentially be kind of bad. Battlecopter. All right, we got the Battlecopter introduced. So now things are actually looking pretty good. With the introduction of the Battlecopter, it's actually very good. Because a Super Glob still cannot purchase air units right now. Like, he's kind of locked out of them. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Well, I guess he's not necessarily locked out of them. You know, arty plus infantry, KO this. Tank comes in and attacks the missile. You KO the missile with tank and infantry right here. You do eat a mech hit on your tank, but then you can buy a Battlecopter. And that's, like, immediate threat right here. So, that's not too shabby. Yeah, and then he go. Yeah, okay, yeah, it's like literally exactly what I thought was gonna happen. Okay, all right. Ooh, now we're in double time range. Super Globe still got his missile now, though, but he did have to retreat the missile up north a little bit. Do we have? That's actually not a great spot for the missile. It should have went in a different spot. I mean, you want the missile to cover the infantry at least, right? Could the missile move elsewhere? That's literally as far as the missile could go, so there's not really any other option. So, I mean, I guess you could have just kept the missile here. Yeah, you could have kept the missile there, because if Battlecopter moves in, then anti-air takes the Battlecopter, and then you have these 2 mechs here that do damage as well. But, you know, it's like, we got a tricky situation. That's an incredibly... I keep saying it's a tricky situation, and that's because it is. It is actually a really tricky situation. Specifically because the base could potentially have a cap start on it this turn. But the Battlecopter isn't in range to attack the mechs, so there's not like a huge amount of threat. You can take out the anti-air with the mechs, start a capture. You can take out the artillery, force the mechs to do a double attack on the infantry to guarantee that you KO it. But then Super Glob has to buy something. He has to buy something big. Like, he doesn't really have much options. But I think this is what Magician is thinking. I mean, it's what I would be thinking right now, if I was the kind of person that thinks. Mech plus tank might even get the KO too, because the mech's gonna hit like a truck. Let's see what kind of damage we actually do. 73 to 83. 77 to 83. Yeah, so mech plus tank would clear. 1, 2, 3. So mech could actually clear this. Tank plus mech clear this. Infantry go to capture. Even if you don't want to capture, you could use infantry to attack mechs. And just surround and smother the base. Yeah, you know what? I think not even attacking the base, or not even starting the capture on the base is probably actually the best thing you can do. Because I think you can guarantee that you actually get the base in like a couple turns if you can just destroy the mechs. I don't know. Let's see. Well, now the mech doesn't have anything to attack, though. Could we have done that a little bit differently? Battlecopter attacking this just loses the battlecopter to this. Like, mech gets used to attack this. Battlecopter could actually be used to attack this. So you could actually free up this tank to hit something else too. I think that's probably the better option. I don't know. That's my 2 cents on the whole situation at least, so. Yeah, okay. So yeah, just sit on the base. That's right. That's what I'm talking about. All right. So yeah, we just sit on the base. So we lose the copter, but we get the base, and that's the most important thing at the end of the day, is that we get the base. So yeah, that was not bad. All right. So Super Glob also activates double time, but does Super Glob have a way to secure himself the base here? That is one of the big questions here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we have ways to dislodge this so that we can at least lock in the anti-air so we can get it like later. I think Super Glob's got some play here too. So let's see what he cooks up here. Yeah, so he locks it in. He locks it in just a different way though. So yeah, it's looking pretty good. You know what? I'm actually pretty proud of Magician here for not going in for the attack. That was really smart. It was really smart. Smart. Big brain activity over here. That's what I'm talking about. I mean, because if he goes in for the attack, he just loses. So, yeah. Very nice. Magician. You just let the base fall. Honestly, that's what you do. You let the base fall, because there's not really any point of fighting over it at this point. You might as well just let the base fall and then just start this make this a bottom versus top battle. That's all you can do. There's no point of sinking extra money into the base when the base is just gonna fall eventually anyway. So yeah, that's the proper thought pattern on that one. So very good. Oh my god, this missile is trying to escape this battlecopter so much. You can't escape. You can't escape. There's nothing you can do. He's gonna go up and he's gonna get you. Now, actually, technically, going and attacking this one in the middle is actually not too good, because once again, you open yourself up to that situation where you take too much counter damage, then the full HP battlecopter just clears, and then this battlecopter gets away. So unless you have coverage, it's not really worth it to go in for the attack. Now attacking the missile though, taking out the missile, that would be very nice, but he doesn't do it. Now does this cover? Yeah, it covers. Okay, so this isn't too bad, but it still puts you in a situation where the 3 HP battlecopter gets away, and then you start that endless copter war, which is like really annoying. Alright, so day 12, Super Blob, capital and properties, in at 22,000 income, both column towers at the moment. Not going to last a long time though. One of the column towers is about to fall, but he's also about to grab 2 more properties, so Magician has got to start grabbing some properties if he wants to stay in this one. For sure, and there we go. He's got a few of them. He's got a few extra ones. Oh, joins the copters together after the attack. That's kind of neat. But what's this sitting at? Pipestein sitting at 28. So, I mean, if you want it to be, like, absolutely silly, you could just completely reset this and just use both of the battlecopters to attack, and then probably use tank infantry to clear the battlecopter. So it just puts you at, like, square zero, basically. Puts you right back at the beginning. But depends on if Super Glob wants to do that. Depends on if he sees it either. Ooh, now with this battlecopter, the chains are going. So then, unless Super Glove buys an anti-air to cover, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Doesn't cover fully though, because battlecopter could attack from over here. No, I think this is still fine. If you buy an anti-air, I think you'll be okay. No, he doesn't go for the attacks, though. I mean, that doesn't really do anything, though. I mean, anti-air can't... I don't know. I don't really know if that does enough. Because what's the roll on a mech? What's a mech on a battlecopter? I think it's actually, like, pretty good. 12 to 21. I mean, if he wants, mech plus infantry could probably clear this and the battlecopter could get away. But it depends on if you want to sacrifice, you know? You want to sacrifice to get the battlecopter away? Or do you want to just push up north and go for the HQ? These are the questions, folks. It's what's going to keep you up at night. Okay, so anti-air breaks out. We take a little attack with the tank on the anti-air, though, but we do have double time available again. So the mechs are going to come into play. Mechs are going to hit really, really hard if anything goes and attacks the anti-air. If double time is actually played. Which, it might be played and might not be played. Because at this point, I mean, we can see that both players are making a little bit of leeway down to the HQ region here, so I think we might just be saving up for Victory March at this moment. Does look like a Victory March kind of moment. So, let's see. Who's gonna play this one? Who's gonna play this one a little bit better? You know, that's all that matters. Yeah, so not going in for any attacks over there. Magician unfortunately buys the Solar Abomination, folks. Smelly scene in Advance Wars by Web. Absolutely atrocious, but I'm gonna forgive him this time. The one forgiven Neo Tank purchase this whole stream. That's it. But he's still got to get some high quality soap in order to wash that stink away. Super Glove also definitely needs some of that high quality soap. Okay, so yeah, here we go. Here we go. We are going in, folks. We are going right in here. And we are just diving deep into the flippin' headquarter territory. And Magician is 4 bars. He's 4 bars from Super Co-Power. Super Glove is 2.5 bars from Super Co-Power, though. But I don't think there's any way for him to actually get to the headquarters. Medium tank. Okay, Magician is forgiven. Is there any way? Is there a way? I don't know. You can KO this infantry with this and this. So this guy could be eliminated. Then you would need to destroy this one. So let's see. This and this clears this. Then maybe... Actually, it really just depends on how much damage a battlecopter does. Oh, not to an anti-air. To this guy. Incredibly low chances. Very, very low chances. If you use a Super Co-Power and Victory March. Because I think tank will clear this. So that'll get cleared, and then it just depends on this. If you get lucky, and if you manage to get Super Co-Power somehow, I mean, I think it's possible to go in here. But if he doesn't win this turn, then he doesn't win at all. Because there's not... Yeah, there's no way to dislodge. You can't dislodge it. You cannot dislodge. Oh. That's dangerous. Okay, so he goes in for the double attack right here, which is good. What else do you need to do, though? Like, this is like an all or nothing situation here. So you have to build charge, and you have to go in for the attack. Now does... 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You could sack... Oh, like the only option here... Excuse me. The only option here, I think, is to go in with Battlecopter. Battlecopter, sacrifice into the anti-air. To get super, and then you get super. Once you get super, you can clear this with anti-air. You would use would you? Copter is gone, so you would have to use anti-air and 3 HP. Copter? I think maybe that would clear it. Would anti-air plus 3 HP Copter with a Scop actually clear? So you do 80. This would be sitting at 2. Would this with a... Oh, shoot. I'll just put this on the HQ. Yeah, that works. Okay, so... Okay, that would work. Okay, so anti-air plus this guy would clear this. Then I'm pretty sure tank plus tank should clear this. Let's just double check that, though. This is super important. So tank on anti-air. 60 to 70. 60 to 70. So it would probably take it down to... Let's say it would take it down to 4. Would this do enough damage? It would do enough damage. Okay, so this is taken care of. This is taken care of. Then everything would just ride on this one singular attack. So if the final Battlecopter gets nearly a max roll, then you have an infantry ready to victory march. I think that's it. That's the only thing that you can do. Super Club's got 17 minutes to figure this out. So, you know, I think he's got time here. But it would appear that he does not go in and do it the correct way, unfortunately. So, not much you... Oh yeah, and also this anti-air would be injured because of the Battlecopter sacrifice too. So that's it. That's it. That's all you can do. And Magician just wastes no time. He just gets the Scop and goes in for the capture. Well played. Well played, Magician. That's what it's all about. It's all about moving and grooving. That's what it's all about. Nice. Not too shabby. Not too shabby at all. One Copter couldn't kill Blackboat anyways. Well, I mean, it could. It's just very unlikely. That's the problem. So, with the victory march, because this guy wouldn't have victory march. So it's 24 to 32. It's only got 3 hit points, so there is a chance. I mean, it just has to roll like very high. But chances are is it probably won't work, you know? So, you know, it is what it is. But at this point, it's a do or die situation, so there's nothing else you can do except for try to go for it. The only other thing that maybe Magician, or maybe this guy could have did, Super Glove, he could have maybe... No, there's probably not really much he could have did. The only thing he might have been able to do would be like put something else on the HQ aside from this, and then like wrap around, you know, full surround or something. But the fact that he left it open right here and here, this is the only reason he actually lost. Like aside from that, like Super Glad played like a very good game, you know, in general. So, but yeah, just leaving those two tiles open to the battlecopters coming in and just doing that damage, losing the anti-air. That's it. It's the only thing that lost in the game. But well played indeed. All right, so we got another fun game here. Also, welcome to the stream, Mr. Noah Crow. Welcome indeed. So, this is between Taco Bell, you know, the famous fast food franchise, and Charlie. So, this is a very fun one indeed. This one is on a little map called Don't Wanna Be That Guy. Nobody really wants to be that guy, just somebody has to be that guy. That's all. That's all it is. Alright, folks, so this is a map which is kind of funny because if you play Olaf and then somebody else doesn't play Olaf, they get caught in the crying corner for a little while whenever the Winter Furies and the Blizzards pop up because of the mountains. And it's very funny. It's very funny. It's just not funny when you're the one that gets stuck in the corner. Alright, but we do have a Kindle meter here today, folks. So, Kindle. Pretty strong. You know, she's pretty strong in this map. Not gonna lie, folks. There's lots of properties, lots of roads to do extra damage to, which are beside the properties. So yeah, you got to play this one very carefully, without a doubt. And you got to get that property in the corner, and you got to make a choice. You know, you got to make some choices. Actually, I'm pretty sure that I streamed this match actually on my channel here. So if you want to look at the live commentary of this battle, you can go check out that previous stream, as this one is a pretty good one. So we're gonna go over this one like kind of quick because I do have the commentary on it already. So the one thing I did notice here when I was commentating is like Taco Bell goes for the back caps, Charlie does not go for the back caps. Charlie goes for the forward caps here. So let's see if that makes like a little bit of a difference here or not. So we got the first tank over here from Taco Bell, which is very nice. I always want to be getting some tanks on the field. Super important. And then Charlie builds the counter tank instead of building a tank on the opposite side, which I think at this point, you know, it's pretty good. It's not too shabby. You got to get a counter tank out. You can't just let Kindle just roll up with their tanks, start denying you properties, because Kindle loves properties. You know, it's one of her favorite things, properties, and she wants to get them. She doesn't like it when they're denied. Alright, Taco Bell buys a tank on the opposite side, forcing Charlie to purchase a tank on the weaker side now. But is he going to? No, he doesn't. He doesn't do it. He builds the tank chain instead, folks. Builds a tank chain. That's what I'm talking about. This man has no fear. He's got no fear of stray tanks. All he wants to do is just destroy the infantry. He wants to destroy all the infantry that he can find. Oh. There we go. Alright. Oh no, what's going on? Alright. Alright, we're back in action. Okay, good. So I mean, I guess temporarily, like, the income is gonna be pretty even for the most part, but Charlie is gonna have an infantry on the front lines. Oh, that's such a wild move, man. Okay, so I remember commentating on this when this happened. So where is it? So Charlie's got one comm tower. So going in for a double attack with 2 infantry on this property right here, it's only like a 33% chance. Some people say 30. I'm pretty sure it's 33, but either way, very low chance, like a 1 in 3 chance you actually get that KO. So it's pretty huge that he actually manages to get it. So very nice. Allows for the tank to go in, take a big hit, 5-8 trade. Huge, absolutely massive, big damage. That's what it's all about. You know, if you're not striking down Kindle on cities, then you're not playing Advances by Web, folks. That's what it's all about. All right, double infantry drop over here from Taco Bell, going in for additional captures right now, moving the infantry forward and living the dream. Charlie is now finally going for these backward caps. is going to be losing some properties, though. So he could go in and interrupt these properties, but it's not really going to work out well for him. It's not. You can interrupt the one that you own so that you can get the income next turn. Ooh, goes in for another combo hit here. Gets the comm tower clear. Not too bad. Unfortunately, it's already owned by Taco Bell. They definitely have a monopoly on these communication towers at the moment, but that's not going to last too long. Boom. Oh, he goes in for another one too. Going in for the other comm tower. Probably, this one could actually potentially go through. The only thing that Charlie could potentially do, like Charlie could stop this capture here if he wanted to. The tank infantry does get the clear, but then you're opening yourself up for an attack from a tank on a city, on your own tank. So you could bring artillery right here, attack with the infantry, and then attack with artillery afterwards. Might be a better option for sure. Let's see what he decides to do. Charlie, day 9, gets capture, gets the double tap, gets the cap, going for the comm tower, attacks the mech with the infantry, taking massive counter damage, but does do a little bit of damage to the mech. Kind of a weird mech buy, you know. I'm not like a huge fan of the big mech over here, but you know, it is going to do some damage, at least temporarily. Alrighty, so Charlie goes in for the double against the comm tower and uses the tank. So now that does open up the tank to an attack here, but boom, now we have the big arty over here, folks. The big soap cannon ready to blast away this tank if it decides to attack from there. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be pretty good. It's going to be a big, huge hit. So does Taco Bell go in with his own tank and attack? We'll find out. Oh, that's a pretty big hit, though. I remember seeing this one actually happen, too, and I was like, whoa. Oh, Charlie just lets his tank get hit. Now he's got 2 tanks versus like 1.5 tanks here, which is not very good, especially considering the fact that Taco Bell's got 16,000 income this turn. So he's gonna buy that double tank infantry combination here. Has now acquired himself an airport. Ooh. So what do we do? What do we do from here, folks? It's day 10. Charlie took some damage here. He's not out of the fight by any means, but definitely feeling that last turn without a doubt. Drops the mech, plops the tank in, goes in for another attack, and then blocks with the infantry. That is actually nice. So that prevents this tank from getting double hit from the 2 tanks, but does not prevent it from being hit by a tank plus mech on mountain. So that's going to be a possibility. Going to be a pretty devastating hit. Ooh, and artillery has been hit by the tank. 10 or 17,000 income, and in comes the flippin' medium tank, folks. Gotta get it on the field. All right, Urban Blight gets popped here as well. Not the greatest timing for the Urban Blight for Mr. Charlie, because he's definitely going to be eating a lot of repairs. But does he get the comm tower? He gets the comm tower. He gets the comm tower, folks. So he's feeling pretty good about that. He is going to be able to deny this comm tower too, because the infantry don't do enough damage to the artillery, so this is going to get interrupted. It is currently sitting at 10. Should be able to do at least 4 damage to it. So take it down to 6. And he's not going to have too bad of a time at that point. Alright, Battlecopter introduced to the fight here. Got the Blight, siphoning the income. Charlie actually down to 15,000 income after the repair cost here, so not really fantastic. It's not the best. But we do have a medium tank here, which is going to be able to go and destroy the artillery. Could alternatively attack infantry, and then tank could come in and attack this, but it's not going to get the KOs. This guy's just going to run away and get the heals. Might end up losing more than what you're really gaining out of that situation. So, I don't know. See what happens here. Alright, not too bad. So pretty good. 1 HP artillery, not really going to do a whole lot of damage to the medium tank. It's too much defenses on that boy. Alrighty, so Taco Bell once again goes in, snipes out an infantry, takes out a tank. Feeling pretty good about those attacks right now. Overloading the medium tank right now, so the medium tank has multiple things that it could potentially attack. Well, really just 2 targets. It could attack this tank, could attack this tank. And that's about it. And that's really all that it can do. I mean, probably attacking this tank would probably be pretty good. Not gonna lie. Big old damage right there. No real counter attack at all. Could dislodge the artillery, but at this point the artillery has pretty much done exactly what he needs to do in this situation. So, you know, he's denied the comm tower for a little while, so he's feeling pretty good about that. 20,000 income in the pocket of Mr. Charlie right now, though. Let's see what he decides to do with that. And he goes in and attacks the big tank on the forest. That is going to maximize the amount of damage he's going to be able to do here. Busts out the battlecopter. Double infantry tank combination right here. Not too shabby at all. Not too shabby at all. Alright, comm tower is being acquired over here. Manages to get the old double hit on the infantry. Tank is retreating because he cannot handle the smoke. He can't handle the smoke anymore, folks. He's got to get out of the kitchen. Got to go to a more defensive location. Manages to attack and destroy the infantry, allowing for a strike on this mech. Nice hit indeed. Nice hit indeed. Very lucky. Actually, it's not really lucky because tank plus infantry is a guaranteed clear. So, not actually really lucky, just a very nice attack. Very nice indeed. Now, is there counterplay? Let's see what Charlie decides to do. In response to these attacks here, goes in, takes out a unit, sacrifices the mech for urban blight. Pretty big. That actually once again stops the capture of the comm tower, successfully stopping the comm tower. Very nice indeed. And then look at this too. 6 HP tank moves in right on top of an infantry, which is still there because of the replay glitch, and then boom, does 50% damage to an enemy tank on 3-star terrain, no less. So that is pretty big. And this medium tank, folks, the medium tank is just feeding, and he even base blocks himself right here. He moves the infantry onto the base to destroy an extra infantry here, just going for maximum KO potential. It's beautiful. It's a work of art, folks. An absolute work of art. Another mech drop. Already locking down the mech right now. And now Taco Bell is trying to acquire this property. Sitting at 11, so it's probably not going to go through, but he is definitely trying to acquire it, without a doubt. Going into turtle mode right now. Unable to push up into the might, which is the medium tank, but Charlie's taking this as an opportunity to get himself a little bit more set up here. Swings the medium tank over to the middle, swings a few more units over to the middle, making a shift towards the other side of the map. Blight once again over here from Taco Bell. Manages to get a couple KOs here. Finds a way to actually strike down the artillery. Pretty significant damage. Strikes down a mech too. That little chunk over here from Charlie is not looking too strong at all after those attacks. Very damaging. Very damaging indeed. Alright, does leave the battlecopter open to an anti-air hit, which was pretty good. And there is ways to secure the artillery's health. Not too bad. Medium tank just shifts over here. He's making his way over to the HQ, folks. That's all he's doing. He's making his way. He knows where he's going, folks, but Taco Bell has built a medium tank of his own, so now things are getting a little bit spicy here. We got a little bit of tech ups from both sides. Very strong indeed. Formulating the flipping Great Wall of Advance Wars over here. With a minor chink in the armor right here. That is definitely a one-shot chink in the armor, so a little bit freaky right there. What track is this? I don't know. Let's find out. This track is called What is this track called? Where's my music being played? In the Red Soil by Bonnie Grace. That's what it's called. Alrighty. Ooh, another artillery on the field. And now we're making some big plays to go and acquire that headquarters. It is looking mighty fine over here. It looks like it's just ripe for the taking. Let's see if Taco Bell finds a way to prevent the capture of this headquarters. He has to play this very, very well in order to stop the capture because it is looking strong. He builds the soiledest of abominations, folks. Soiled, smelly Neo-Tank on the field, which is actually very dangerous because this is in range of the HQ. So you got to watch out for it. And it's also able to do a lot of damage. Like, the Neo-Tank can one-shot a lot of units. So, you gotta watch out for that. That is for sure, folks. Ooh, it's looking pretty gnarly. It's looking pretty gnarly. Charlie goes in for the big blocks over here, but... folks, I'm telling you. Dealing with Kindle is a very annoying thing. You gotta watch out because she can get super co-power at any point. She has given Mr. Taco Bell, or Taco Bell has given Charlie a super co-power at the moment. And the only way that he's gonna save himself right now is if he gets a co-power. Like, he has to figure out a way to get the co-power, which he does. Not even, well, it's not like that much of an issue to get it. So he figured it out, gets the attack, stops the capture, builds a bomber. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the bomber, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so the bomber is able to attack the medium tank. So yeah, this game's not over. It's not over, folks. Like, Charlie, he's got to figure out a way how to deal with this situation. He's very, very close to winning, but he needs to just get a little bit more in there and figure it out. Now, he does have at least one turn or 2 turns to figure it out because he's got the blight, so he can stop the capture of the headquarters right now. So he doesn't really have to worry about it at the moment. Now he doesn't have to worry about it at all. So he's gifted himself another day. Attacks the infantry, so now there's absolutely no threat on the headquarters. So very beautiful. Going in for a few attacks over here. The only thing that is dangerous right now would be if the bomber can one-shot the anti-air. Can the bomber one-shot the anti-air? Would you look at that, folks? It actually can't because he's on a road. Boom! He's on a road, folks. There's nothing you can do. Builds a missile. Charlie ends the game. Boom. Big old Charlie getting a nice big old win for the Holy Polish Empire. So for those of you that haven't been paying attention, that is actually 4 wins for the Holy Polish Empire. So that means that we have won the set. But there are still some games to play, folks. We have Van Joey and Raider O'Carman. We have Alex and Lilforth. And then we have the big Sprite Mare and the big Poland. Still ahead here, folks. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. But need a drink of water before I do anything. All right. So we're going to do Van Joey versus Raider O'Carman. 2 of my buddies. I like both of these guys. They're actually like super chill indeed. I'm very sad that they have to fight each other, but you know what? Sometimes you gotta fight your friends for personal enjoyment and content. So that's just the way it is, folks. Now, this map here, we're playing on a map called Arachnophobia. So this one is a mixed base map with lots of silly things that can happen here, especially on Lashmeres. Lashmeres are like, they're super wild fun times. Now, on this map, what I've seen a lot of people get fixated on is like comm towers. So people might end up fighting for the comm tower a little bit longer than maybe they should or maybe shouldn't, but you definitely do got to get that comm tower like pretty quick. If you don't get it pretty quick, it gets denied, and it can make things very annoying, without a doubt. So let's see what happens here. Now, I haven't actually watched this game, so I don't really know what's going to be happening or what's going to go on like in general. So very excited to see this one. These guys are both very strong indeed, so let's see what they manage to pull off here. It's Banjo's turn. He's going to go in, get the old captures, going in for the interrupt. An unfortunate 6-6 trade interrupt, which is not really too great, but Banjo busts out a tank, folks. He's got a tank on the field right now. And it's right here. Holy moly. That's going to be a good one. That's a good tank. Strong tank. Big old strong tank. Another tank. Raider busts out a tank too. So now we got two tanks staring at each other from across the battlefield. They are going to be clashing. They're going to clash so flipping hard, folks. Alright. Banjo going in for a few more infantry moves over here. Acquires the knockouts. Begins capping with a 1 HP infantry. There is only 19 more days until that capture goes through, folks. So you better watch out for that one. It's definitely going to be going through, without a doubt. Alright, going in for the old tank hit on the infantry, but that does allow for a first strike right here. But first strike right here just basically guarantees that your tank gets destroyed by the counter damage of these two tanks. So I don't know. Was it worth it going for that attack? Probably not. But either way, Radar's going for a comm tower right now. It's gonna get interrupted though, like without a doubt. There's no world where Banjo doesn't interrupt the comm tower from the forest. Yeah, of course. Like he would just automatically go in for it. Like without a doubt. Without a doubt. Oh yeah, and Charlie and Taco Bell in the last game, fantastic match. I was really excited to cast that one live. I haven't really had too many opportunities to cast a lot of the live games, so whenever I do happen to see one that's being played in my time zones, I'm very happy to cast it. But yeah, they both played fantastic. But these guys right here, they're also going to be playing fantastic. Let me tell you. Let me tell you, folks. Let's see it happen. Alright, Banjo taking control of the battlefield once again. Going in for multiple caps. Going in for the old 20% boosted attack over here on a 30% boosted defense. Tank, unfortunately, only going to get a 7-5 trade on that, but that's something, folks. It's better than a 6-6, I'll tell you that much. I will tell you that much. Nobody wants to get the 6-6 trade. The only thing worse than the 6-6 trade is the very unfortunate 6-5 trade, which can happen when you're fighting Sonya without a comm tower. That is a unfortunate truth that a lot of people have dealt with in Advanced Wars by Web. You know, you think that Sonya is not very strong, and then you go in and attack her, and then you end up in that situation, and you're like, well, what have I done with my life? And the only answer that you have is made mistakes. That's it. That's all you got. Alright, mech over here from Raider. I don't really know about the mech. You know, I'm not like super feeling the mech. Obviously, the mech is to counter the recon. But I mean, I would probably prefer just to save up for a tank eventually. But either way, Raider, you know, he's a pretty strong guy. He probably knows what he's doing. Going in for the old triple attack. Doesn't even get the KO. That's actually kind of unfortunate. Very unfortunate. Alright, forming a nice little wall up north, Mr. Banjoey, but now it is Radar's turn. Goes in. Ooh, he's attacking that one. I don't know. I don't know about that one. Goes in and attacks the south tank. I guess he gets... Yeah, okay. So he gets an attack on both of the tanks, so that's not too bad. Another tank. Okay. Okay. Yeah. All right. Makes sense. Yeah. So yeah, Raider. He did some. Does some good attacks. Good attacks for sure. Now Banjo has got to run away. He can't stay in that area anymore. He's got to run away with his tanks. Try to save them the best he can at this point. And we don't have any co-powers or anything available here, so we can't really like super escape. But we can build the classiest of all the units, folks. The classy medium tank. That's what we can buy. We can buy it, and we can get it on the field, and we can get it ready. We can get it ready to start feeding. Feeding frenzy. It's going to be happening. Ooh. Radar. Just flipping cleans up. That is nice. Just cleans up basically everything up here. Like Banjo's got no presence over here. He's got one HP tank. He's got one tank up here. Everything from Banjo is sunk into the medium tank. He's got 2 tanks, a medium tank, and a dream. That's what he's got right now, folks. Holy moly. Is he gonna be able to pull it off with just just a medium tank and 2 tanks? Built another tank right there. Technically, he's ahead right now. Like he is ahead in properties, like 17 to 15. So it's not gonna be that ahead. That's a 17-17 after the airport is captured down south. So yeah, that's a 17-17. Banjo, he does get one more property up north, so it's going to be 18. Radar does a nice little position over here too. So artillery, that's like full coverage over here. It doesn't really put you in a position where you can really pounce on anything at the moment. I guess you can make a move over here. You can do like a partial surround, but you can't do a surround that's not going to get broken by this line. So the property is not going to get captured right away. Is that a recon that just attacked a tank? Alright, folks. So this recon goes up like an absolute based individual. Attacks a flipping tank. Like, what is even going on here? What an absolute unit. Alright, so he goes in. He doesn't want to use the infantry to capture this, though. Like, he could have went in with this infantry and attack here and then started the capture, but it's not really worth it because you have an interrupt and a break over here. So, I don't really think it's... Oh, what the heck? What the heck? Okay. Hold on. Hold on. He forgoes the property. He attacks the tank, and he pops terrain tactics. Terrain tactics. Folks, why do we pop terrain tactics? We get an attack there. Oh yeah, I always forget that you can actually move through the center here. That's actually kind of funny. But then we get an attack there. Whoa. That's a gnarly little terrain tactics. And just like that, folks. Just like that. 2 tanks, a medium tank, and a dream turned into a decent position on the map. So not too shabby at all, but we'll lose a little bit of counter damage here. Maybe this might have been like a mid-turn thought, or maybe that's why he didn't go for the comm tower capture. But either way, so Raider responds with terrain tactics. Like, we're not even going prime tactics here, folks. We're full-on terrain tacticing it. Holy moly. Alright, goes for the comm tower. That's a guaranteed comm tower now. Medium tank. Alright. See, these guys know what's up. They know what's up. They gotta bust up the medium tanks. Alright. Okay, so that guarantees... Well, it doesn't guarantee, but that gives a very good possibility of getting this now. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Could potentially... No, it wouldn't even work. You gotta get rid of the 3 HP infantry. If you can get rid of the... Or 3 HP tank. If you can get rid of this tank, then you guarantee this flip here, which will be nice. And there you go. Unfortunately, Raider built his medium tank just at the... Unfortunately, at a poor time, because it gets absolutely surrounded by Banjo's units. And then Banjo busts out another medium tank. He's got 2 of them, folks. He's got 2 medium tanks, 2 of the classiest units on the field at the exact same time. But then Banjo's medium tank just gets surrounded as well. So he's not necessarily feeling too hot, but it is going to hold for a little while. What does Banjo do now? Uses the tank to block in the medium tank. Goes for big hits down south. So that's looking pretty good. Like, this is not going to be able to hold. Medium tank is going to be able to escape and do some big damage. This is going to hold for quite some time. Because even if he destroys this, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You got at least 6 units here that can be sacrificed to hold on to this area. So that's not too shabby. Not too shabby. Unfortunately, the tank is completely destroyed by the medium tank, but it's a small price to pay for a dominating position. That's it. That's all it is, folks. Oh, the medium tank's getting out. It's getting out of jail. Okay. Ooh. Can't get a 2-shot on the tank, so artillery escapes with its life. 1, 2, 3. Good terrain tactics of this guy to guarantee that he's interrupted. Battlecopter is going to be a little bit tricky. If you use train tactics now too, you guarantee this interrupt and this interrupt. So I wonder if he's gonna... I wonder if Banjo is gonna go for it. Oh yeah, the medium tank hits like a truck. That's right. 1 HP tank going in. Doesn't go for this interrupt though. Okay, so he goes for that. Okay. So it's a flip for a flip essentially here. So Raider gets a flip, and then Banjo gets a flip right back, because that can't be interrupted. And just sacrificing the 1 HPs too to keep the medium tank at bay. Next turn, there's going to be a battlecopter and an artillery in position to lock it down as well. So that's going to be pretty big. But with the battlecopter right now, battlecopter is very, very close to being able to assist the medium tank and break it out. So that's definitely a possibility. Actually, technically, if Raider really wanted to, he could terrain tactics. Infantry destroys this, and battlecopter destroys this, and then the medium tank escapes. But if the medium tank attacks over here, like let's say it goes in and interrupts, it's gonna eat a medium tank first strike, and if it goes up here and attacks these infantry, then it's gonna deal with the battlecopter. So I don't know, man. I don't know. It's a tricky one. Banjo, he pops another power. What? Oh my god, it gets the clear. And then the medium tank moves in. And then you get another... Oh my god, this is a terrain tactics shot from a flippin' city onto a road. 80%. 80%, and then Raider resigns. Like, what? Oh my god. Folks, you don't even need prime tactics. All you need is terrain tactics. And like Banjo and Raider just proved it right here. Like, wow. That's wild. So yeah, those of you that say the terrain tactics is the forbidden power, you're just not using it right. That's all it is. Well played to both of these players. Great matches. Alright, folks. We have Alexa versus Villefort. This is the, what is that, diamond? This is the diamond game. So the second highest tier that we got. And it's going to be great. I like both of these guys. Villefort, like I said, I fought Villefort quite a few times. And he's a very strong guy. Indeed. And I fought Alexa many times. When Alexa first started, I used to beat him like quite often. Now I can't beat him. Can't beat him anymore. He's too good. He's played too many lively games. He's got too much experience. So I can't beat him anymore. But he's a strong guy. He's a nice guy, though. Alright, and he's playing Eagle, which is kind of... I don't know how I feel about Eagle on this map. Let's just see. This map is called I Went to the Beach, but didn't write your name. I don't really see any beaches on this map. I guess there's two beaches. There's some beaches here. There's beaches there. All right, there's a few beaches. We're off the hook. I mean, Eagle's probably got some play here for sure. But it just seems more of an Olaf map to me. I don't know if I would want to play Max on this map. There's too many choke points for Max to be like super great. But I mean, he could be good because you could just bust out some fat battlecopter play for sure. But I don't know. Alright, it looks like it decides to buy a Recon as the first vehicle here. Villefort can counter Recon with a tank though. Recon can get in the center. That's actually the big thing here. So by Recon getting in the center, you deny a lot of the properties. Also, the other day, we just witnessed a fantastic game. Who was playing that game? It was like... who was it? Azrael? I think it was actually Azrael versus Villefort. So Villefort played this game the other day against Azrael, I believe, if I'm remembering this correctly. And it was a Sammy versus somebody match. And Sammy tried to do some cheese, which I think really messed up Villefort for quite some time. So we're gonna be featuring that one next time, though. That's not a today game. That's a different day game. But that was a good one. Holy moly! Gotta watch out for Sammy on this map, folks. Folks, if you're fighting Sammy on this map, just don't let her cap your HQ. Gotta watch out. She's gonna try to be sneaky, because that's what Sammy's best at. Anytime you see somebody play as Sammy, just remember that you have a headquarters and it's gonna try to get capped. So just don't let it happen. Alright, so unfortunately, this Recon really hasn't gotten a whole lot of value yet. But it has been very annoying. It's going to be able to deny one of these two properties if it chooses. Which at this point it might have to... That just might be what has to happen here, because I don't really see any other thing for the Recon really to do. I mean, he can kind of like... You can continue to run away with the Recon, but... Alright, so this is going to continue to run away. Does 1 damage to the pipe seam. Respectable damage. Absolutely. But now Villefort's got control of the center, so the Recon... It didn't really do too much. I mean, one of the best things about the Recon is being able to deny a bunch of income, right? So... Maybe just the threat of having the Recon around is what's really doing it, you know? That's probably what it is. Now, the Recon does deny access to this area here, allowing for these captures to go through. That's pretty good. So that's going to boost Elixir up quite a bit. That's going to be like 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. 18 plus Comm Tower potentially. But Comm Tower is probably going to get denied by infantry right now. So that's going to happen. Actually, it's not even a what if thing. It's like yeah, it's definitely gonna happen thing. All right, so Vilfort actually, that's a pretty strong little hit. So man, just take out the infantry, very absolute minimal damage counter to that. Like Elixir can't really attack. Like he could go here, but he's gonna lose the tank. Well, let's see what he decides to do, because Vilfort he's got a very strong position right now. Like, he's just got to hold on to this position, and I think he might be pretty good here. Like, Elixir, what is Elixir going to do? He's going to go in, snag an infantry, do a little interrupt, get a first strike on a tank. Brings this tank over, so not too bad. If an attack does happen here, it's going to be happening from a road, which is not going to be very strong. Ooh, the battlecopter might be toast. Ooh, yeah. Yeah, I think the battlecopter is toast. I don't really think that it can escape. I think it might be done. Ooh, that's kind of risky. So you take out a tank, but then you open up a double, because tank can destroy tank, then this guy can go over here and attack. So that's putting you 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that's putting yourself in a very dangerous situation. Because even with the introduction of the battlecopter, I still think Vilfort has an incredibly strong counterplay over here, just by using the tank here. So tank here, tank here, tank. Actually, the other tank could even attack this guy, and this infantry could attack here. Or you could attack here and then KO the infantry, allowing for just one infantry to exist. Oh yeah, the music is just being super epic. Hopefully I don't get demonetized because of the epic music, but like I said, oh, he doesn't go in for the other attack. Oh wait, no, so he gets the KO, so that's pretty strong too. Okay, so that's nice. But yeah, hopefully I don't get demonetized. They say that it's royalty-free music, so I'm hoping that they're actually correct about that, but we'll see. I've had it where they say it's royalty-free before, but then it's actually not, so. Why would you not run away with the battlecopter? So sacrifice battlecopter to attack infantry, so that does prevent the comm tower from being capped, but you lose the battlecopter. Could just be for charge. Maybe. Demonetized for uncontrollable epicness. Oof, I guess it's worth it, you know? I guess it's worth it. I mean, honestly, I don't really lose much anyway, so it's not really a big deal. So, it's all good. As long as the games remain as epic as possible, and the music just adds to that, that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, folks. It's remaining as epic as possible. Remaining as epic as a flippin' Vilfort classy medium tank. That's what you need. I just noticed that the colors are actually mixed up. Vilfort is supposed to be Orange Star, and Elixir is supposed to be the other army. So we're just going to pretend that's actually not like a thing right now and not even worry about it. Alright. But that is supposed to be a thing. So, yeah. Alright. But the most important thing, aside from that, is whether or not Elixir is going to get a fat lightning strike. Because he definitely needs a lightning strike. If he doesn't get a fat lightning strike, then he's kind of in trouble. Vilfort is very close to his super as well, so if that super hits before the lightning strike, we might have ourselves a problem. A big, old, fat, stinky Olaf problem. Ooh. 24 to 18. Like, Vilfort is... He's got a lot of income right now, folks. But, technically, Eagle doesn't really care too much if he's behind. What Eagle really cares about is unit count. And at the moment, he actually does not have a whole lot of unit count. He's kind of lacking in the unit count a little bit right now. But that's just standard stuff when you're fighting Vilfort, you know? Vilfort, strong guy. I'm telling you. This guy's strong. There's only... Well, like... Oh, who is it? Vilfort. And there's one other guy that's like Vilfort. Heuristic. That's who it is. So you look at those guys like Global League ratings, and they're not like super high or anything. But then you look at their Live League ratings, and they're like 1,300, 1,400 players, you know? Never trust the Global League rating, is what I'm saying, folks. Alright, we got a Winter Fury. The Fury of Winter. And that's a resign. We don't even get a Lightning Strike, unfortunately. The Fury of Winter was just too much. Vilfort definitely had a lot of prep on this map, and he just went in and just flipping went to town. Absolutely went to town. Alexa, such a strong player, but he was unable to hold up today, folks. That's all it is. I have to see where I am on my list of songs. Where are we at? Win. I'm gonna start back from the beginning. Usually the problem is, you know, for those of you that may be interested in starting content creation at some point, if you're ever doing playlists and stuff, gotta make sure your playlist doesn't go too far, because then you might end up playing songs that aren't on your playlist. Anyways, so this is the last game that we have, folks. This is Sprite versus Poland. Captain Poland versus Sprite. He's not the captain of their team, but he's a very strong player. Also a content creator also over on the Twitch. And I believe he does actually make some YouTube videos as well. He does long replay analysis. Like usually his replay analyses are well over an hour long. I think the most recent one he did was like an hour and like 40 minutes. Goes into thorough detail about what his plans are and what he's doing. So yeah, if you're ever fighting Sprite, just yeet and have yourself a good time, because that's really all that you can do. But fantastic fella, I'll tell you that much. He's a pretty good guy. And Poland, he's Poland. He's all about that Poland life. So let's see how he does in this one. This is the final battle tonight, folks. So let's have a good one here. We are playing on a map called Harunokuma. Or something like that. Harunokuma. That's what we got. Alright, it's a base light match with some flipping missiles and a whole lot of wonky terrain. We got ourselves a little coal mirror. So we're going to get some flipping force marches up in here, folks. That's what it's all about. It's all about forcing marches. Let's see it happen. Alright, going for some properties. Gotta get the infantry on the field. Gotta get the properties. Beautiful stuff here, folks. Boom. Poland going for a property. Moving forward. And now we got a Sprite going for the corner properties. Acquires the airport. Builds a mech. Now we got ourselves a problem. Alright, so this is a tricky map. This is an incredibly tricky map. And this is why this map is actually gifted to the higher rated players right now, because this is a very tricky map. It's very difficult to read, very difficult to play, because if you want to play this one, you have multiple things that you have to think about. You have to think about how your attack over here is going to go. You have to think about how you're going to get the corner. You have to wonder if your opponent is going to front shift into the middle, allowing for a 2 base versus 1 scenario plus airport. You have to figure out how to dislodge the missile. You have to figure out how to defend the area. Too much stuff to deal with. That's what I'm saying, folks. It's far too much stuff to deal with. So that's why we leave it up to the professionals. And everybody else, we just get to play on the fun maps. That's what it's all about. It's all about playing on the fun maps. Kokery Forest, folks. Get more Kokery Forest out there. That's what it's all about. All right, day 5, Poland continuing the assault here, capping 2 properties. And we already have Sprightmare moving up and interrupting Poland. He's taking a play right out of Poland's books, ripping the page out, crumpling up into a piece of paper, and just throwing it at his head. Like, who does that, folks? Who does that? It's rude. That's what I'm saying. Sprightmare, stop being rude. We don't want to be rude over here. All right, mech moving up. Now, mech is 2 days away from being able to hit the missile. If the mech is successful in hitting the missile, then that means the Sprightmare is going to be able to start pumping out air units. It doesn't have the income for air units yet, but it is going to happen very, very soon. Oh, in Poland, this is sitting at 4 now, so that's not going to go through. I wonder what the thought pattern with that one was. I don't know. We'll see. All right. Boom, boom. Mech moving in. Good mech position right here, although it's not in position where it can attack this in 2 days now. But it is in a position, so let's see what happens here. Day 7. Sprightmare goes up and captures the property, grabs the airport in the corner. So that is the safe airport. You are able to purchase air units out of there to assault the 1 base side. And then Sprightmare destroys this infantry. Poland does have an attack with his mech onto this infantry on the city, or on the mountain. Probably only going to do about 5 points of damage, maybe 6 points of damage. We'll see. We'll see what kind of threshold we got here. It's going to be 6 or 5. It's going to be 5. All right, so not too much damage, but enough. It is enough. And now Poland's got an opportunity here. Poland could actually potentially snag the lab, and then put like all of his eggs into going and grabbing this lab over here, which might be a little bit easier than attacking the base, because you do have a pretty quick way of scooching around here and getting there. But there is nothing stopping Sprightmare from 2-day reinforcing the lab, so probably not the best move that you can do, but it is definitely a move. Just not the best move you can do. So we'll see. Mr. Sprightmare goes up and gets a double tap interrupt, and then moves this tank in position to cover. If Poland wants to attack this tank, he can attack from the road or attack from the city, but then he's going to be eating an attack rate afterwards. So he's going to have to make sure that he does quite a bit of damage to that tank if he wants to go in and do that. All right. Day 8. Doesn't go in for the tank hit. Goes in to attack the infantry. Very interesting. Very interesting infantry hit. All right. So tank chain coming out here from Poland up north. Sprightmare opting out of the tank chain, just going with mechs down south. Got a capture here. Hard to say who's in like a better position right now, but I think Sprightmare might be in a little bit of a better position. He's got some big hits over here. He's taken the missile down to 5, so technically now Sprightmare can build the battlecopter, which is actually what just happened. So this is going to be able to do about maybe 5 damage to the battlecopter. It'll get healed up, be at 7, and be able to be immediately start being annoying over here and attack the base as well, forcing Poland to buy an anti-air, which is not really the greatest thing to buy right now, money-wise, because you don't really have a lot of money for it. You're only sitting at 13,000 income per day. I think that's a free hit on the infantry. Yeah, that's free, temporarily free. At least temporarily free. And Sprightmare going for the Poland lab. Definitely playing the long game here. He's planning for the future right now by getting that lab. Builds the anti-air. Yeah, Poland is basically, he's forced to build the anti-air. But oh, it's like, it's not great. It's not a great situation. Now, I'll tell you why. So the only reason this is not a great situation, if Poland, or if, okay, I don't think he's going to be able to get it, but, oh boy, he might get it, right? What we're dealing with here is, does Sprite Mare want to sacrifice his battlecopter into the anti-air, attack with tank here, maybe potentially have to sacrifice 2 HP mech? It's possible. And then at that point, does he get super? He's about 20, he's about 7,000 away from it. So this would be about 5,000? 5,000-ish? I don't think he can get super. I don't think he can get co-power. I don't think it's possible, actually. Maybe. Never mind. It's entirely possible. Staying corrected. Completely staying corrected. Anyway, so we get the power. See, I thought maybe it was possible, but maybe I was just thinking like a little bit too much about it. Anyways, so that allows for double mech hit into this, allowing infantry to go right here. And then infantry technically doesn't even need to start the capture. Could just sit there. And then allow for this infantry to go right here. And then just smother the base. I wonder if that's what he's going to do. Is he going to smother the base, or is he going to go for the attack? Well, he goes for the capture. I mean, obviously you go for the capture, but yeah, the base has been smothered. Calm Tower is being acquired now. My eye is incredibly itchy, and this battle is getting absolutely wild here. So Poland does have the super co-power, but super co-power is not enough to dislodge the base. You need at least 3 units to do that, and Poland's only got 2. So 2 is 1 less than 3. So yeah, we got ourselves a little bit of a problem here. And then Poland actually does not have anything to dislodge the other base as well. So he's got to just let his base go. Not really much he can do about that right now. Sprite Mare acquires the base. And he's sitting at 15,000 income. So he's got less income temporarily, but he has acquired the base. Poland's stopping a few of the captures right now. He does have himself in a position now where he could potentially take the base, but depends, because if Sprite Mare finds a way to, I don't know, like maybe buy a medium tank, the classiest of all the units in Advances by Web, I think he can still hold on to his base, but he needs something bigger, you know, something with a little bit more oomph to it in order to hold the base. So we'll see. Anti-air is pretty good. I would have preferred to see the classiest units in Advances by Web, but anti-air is the more logical choice. Poland sacrifices the battlecopter, gets the forced march, gets a fat mech hit, gets a battlecopter hit, and has smothered the base. He has smothered the base right back, folks. That's what Poland is all about. Here we go. Now, I don't think this is going to actually survive, because you got 2 sacrifice, 2 sacrifice, 3 sacrifice. 5 and 5 will guarantee that you get the KO. Battlecopter sits here and attacks, or you just buy an anti-air again. So it's not going to hold. But we'll see. So Sprite Mare pops the power. He's doing it the lame way. He's not doing it the self-sacrificing way. Alright, whatever. You know, sometimes you just want to see the world burn. But Sprite Mare doesn't. He wants to see Poland burn. He doesn't want to see the world burn. All right. So Poland finds a way to actually break through and get a huge attack on the base. Manages to smother the base and has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 battlecopters. He's got 5 battlecopters in position here. So Sprite Mary, he's got a lot of units on the field, but 24 units and only 44,700 value worth of units. But he builds a fighter. Oh my god. He's also got 24 properties. he's got 24 properties, folks. There's not much you can do about that. He's got 24 properties. Poland. Yeah, what are you even gonna do against a fighter? You know, some people might consider for a fact, for even a moment, you know, just buying battlecopters. You know, that's what a normal person would buy. No, not Sprite Mare. Sprite Mare upgrades right to the fighter. Fighter puts a immediate stop to the battlecopter spam, and that's it. It's all you can do. Unfortunately, Poland was unable to win this battle, but he's still our captain and he's still the GOAT on our team. So officially, that round was almost a complete sweep, except for Poland. Unfortunately, Poland was unable to beat Sprite Mare, but I mean, honestly, Sprite Mare is so good, so you can't even really like blame him, you know? It's just the way it is, just the way she goes. But that was good. Those were good games. I was very happy to have the opportunity to check them out. So, very happy about that. Alrighty, folks. So that's going to be it. That's all that we got today. We got no more games for the entire night. Those are the only games we have. So, hopefully, you all enjoyed. If you did, consider leaving a like, comment, or subscribe. For those of you that enjoy Wargroove, we do have a Wargroove stream set up for this Wednesday, so you can pop over here and check that out. We are going to be continuing to lose Navy battles, and it's going to be an absolute wild time. But yeah, until then, we're going to have a lively game of the day released on a Thursday, which is going to be fantastic. And then maybe we'll find out something to do on the weekend. I was going to plan this one to do. I really wanted to do this on my birthday, but unfortunately, was unable to do it on my birthday. So, one day in the month of June, I am hopefully going to schedule the semi-birthday brawl, and it's going to be an absolute time. But until then, we just have crying Olaf here, and he's very sad about it. So, we'll get to it eventually, though. But until next time, folks, take care of yourselves, and bye-bye for now.